Welcome to Core Connection. For today's practice, you're going to want a block. If you don't have a block, you can use a thick book or a pillow. We'll be fine. You're going to start lying on your back. Soles of your feet flat on the ground. Take a moment just to adjust your hips. Place one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest. And begin to take some deep breaths, breathing fully into the hand on your belly. Next time you inhale, fill your belly up so your navel is pressing up towards the ceiling, and hold your breath in. And then press your belly button up towards the ceiling a little bit further. So we're getting into that deep inner core, the diaphragm. Exhale, let it all out. Inhale again, filling up your belly, pressing your navel towards the sky, holding your breath in. And then this time, take another sip of air in, keep pressing your navel up towards the sky. And then exhale it all out. And do that one more time. Inhaling a nice big full breath in, belly filling up. Hold your breath in, belly button presses towards the sky. That's the most important part. It's going to help to pull your diaphragm down, creating greater space in your lungs and strengthening the diaphragm, which is a muscle. And then exhale it all out. This time, when you take a breath, you're going to breathe into the hand on your chest and just notice what happens to your abdomen when you breathe into the hand on your chest. Your abdomen needs to slightly engage, holding the belly down, breathing into the chest. Just take a couple of breaths like that with the abdomen ever so slightly engaged to prevent it from moving. So the breath just moves up into the chest. So our breath actually moves in 4 directions. It moves forward, backwards, right, left, up, and down. Our lungs expand in all those directions. So in our abdominal practice, in our core practice today, you're going to find your breath moving in different directions. So just pay attention to that as a little theme for the practice. All right, take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, feel your low back pressing into the ground. Your tailbone starts to lift a little bit towards the ceiling, and you're just really anchoring your low back to the ground. Hold the low back pressing into the ground as if you're in sand and you're like trying to make an imprint with your low back. And then take your hands behind your head. Just lift your head up a little bit so that your neck stays out of it, because otherwise the neck tends to kind of get involved and help with the engaging. But if you have your head lifted up, you can press your head back into your hands and your neck will stay soft. From here, we're going to lift the feet up off the ground, bringing the shins to parallel. Keep pressing the low back into the ground like you're digging into sand. Feel that activation of your lower abdomen. 3 breaths. Next time you exhale, you're going to bring your elbows and knees towards each other. And then inhale, you're just going to straighten your legs out to about a 45 degree. Exhale, elbows and knees towards each other. Inhale, out to 45 degrees. Exhale, elbows toward knees. Inhale, open. We're just going to do a few more of these. Notice where your breath is moving. When you inhale with your abdomen engaged, your breath is maybe moving laterally, maybe it's moving up into the chest. 2 more. Last one. Don't lower the legs. Hold the legs at 45 degrees. Hold the head. Press your low back into the ground. That's where you're going to really get the engagement of your abdomen. And then exhale, bring the shins back to parallel. Press your low back into the ground. Stay engaged. Couple more breaths. And then with your next inhale, lift your legs straight up to 90. You're going to keep your head lifted just a little bit off the ground. And then as we exhale, we're going to take the right elbow over to the left knee. Hold for a few breaths. Inhale back to center. Exhale, left elbow to the right knee. Hold for a few breaths. Inhale, coming back to center. You're going to continue holding for 3 breaths on each side. Inhaling through center. 3 breaths on the other side. Inhale through center. Other side, notice where you're breathing. With the twisting action, you're limited and maybe your breath is only moving towards the left lung. Just see how it feels. Notice where you're breathing. We'll do 1 more on each side, coming back with an inhale through center. Exhaling to the left for 3. Notice your breath. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right for 3. Inhale to center. Go ahead and lower your legs just for a moment. You're going to grab your block. You're going to take your block or your book or your pillow or whatever it is that you have, and you're going to place it onto your right thigh. And then you're going to bring that right leg up to 45 degrees. You're going to take your right elbow and you're going to press it into your prop. Squeeze them together like mad, like really, really squeeze. Engage as you press your knee towards the elbow or towards the block. You're really getting engagement through the lower abdomen on that side. And if you don't have a block and you can make the connection, you could just go straight elbow to knee. It's going to be a bit more challenging, but if you're up for it, go for it. Otherwise, squeeze your prop, hold here. And then we're just going to lift your head up off the ground a little bit, again, to keep the neck out of it. Holding your head in your left hand. And then last step, we're going to lift the left leg up to 45 degrees. Squeeze your elbow and your knee towards each other. Hold for 10 more seconds. Keep pressing your low back to the ground. Squeeze your elbow and your knee for a few more breaths. Just press elbow and knee together. And then exhale to release. We'll take it on the other side. The block comes onto the left thigh. The left elbow comes up to the thigh. And begin right here, squeezing the block like you're trying to crush it. And then you'll lift your head. And then you'll lift your leg. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. The action, the energy, the strong core comes from that. Engagement as you squeeze. Shaking is good. If you find yourself shaking at any point, that is good. You're using your body. Your muscles are engaged. 5 more seconds. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze for the last 3, 2, 1, and then release. Just take a moment to lengthen because we don't want to get all bunched up and stressed in our belly. As we're engaging, we're going to also release. So take your feet as wide as your mat and then drop your knees together. This begins to lengthen the sides of your body. Take a couple of breaths there. And then go ahead and drop both knees over to the right. Big length through the left side. And if you want to bring your arms up overhead, a big stretch, you can. And then inhale the knees back up to center. Just adjust your hips, anything that you need to. And then lower them down to the other side. Finding your breath full and sweet. And then inhale back to center. Take your knees into your chest. We're going to begin to rock a little bit, just rocking back and forth, staying controlled. You're going to stay controlled by engaging your abdomen to squeeze your knees in or releasing to let your knees go away. So just do a couple more rocks back and forth. This is also really nice for releasing through your back. We're going to come into a boat pose here in a moment. So with your next exhale, come up to balance, find that balance point and let that be the magic, finding the balance point. And then you can begin to straighten your legs away, keeping openness across your chest. If you're rounding with your legs, It's better to keep the knees bent and your chest open. Arms come out by your side, legs either straight or bent, chest open. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, lower, cross your ankles. You're going to step back into a downward facing dog. And just take a couple of breaths in down dog, changing the direction of energy flowing through your torso, through your legs. Just take a couple of breaths. And then inhale, look forward, walk to the top of your mat, bring your block with you if you have it. You might want to use it, you might not need it. Inhale, we're going to reach the arms up. Exhale, we're going to bow forward. Inhale, we're going to lift up halfway. Exhale, we're going to step our right foot back. And then inhale, we're going to rise up and open out to the side. We're setting up for Trikonasana, triangle pose. So the legs are wide, but not as wide as a warrior pose. The heel of your left foot is about in line with the arch of your right foot. And you're going to lift up tall. And then as you exhale, you're going to reach forward, coming towards a Trikonasana. You're going to pause right here. You're not going to lower that left arm. What you are going to do is lift the right arm up. So we're engaging through our obliques, our intercostal muscles, all of these muscles that support our core. If you want to bring the arm up overhead, you can do that. If you want extra effort, if you want to engage with some extra effort, you can use the block, holding the block in your arms here. It's creating a little more weight. So wherever you want to be, I'm going to set the block down. I don't feel like I want that right now. Holding, engaging, pressing into both feet, holding through your core. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, lift up. We're just going to turn the feet and go to the other side. Again, if you want to use the block, if you want the added effort there, you can do that. Setting up for Trikonasana, finding your feet. And then reach forward. Again, do not lower that arm. Lift the left arm up by your ear or overhead, or take the block. Holding here for several breaths. Feeling your muscles engage, feeling your legs strong to keep you here. Three, 2, 1. Inhale, come on back up. Turn your toes forward. That's our only standing pose for today. Go ahead, step back into downward facing dog. From down dog, we're going to inhale the right leg up. Exhale, bring the knee to your nose. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, knee to the right elbow. Inhale up. Exhale, the knee to your left elbow. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, knee to nose again. Inhale, lift up. And then exhale, set that right foot down. We'll take it on the left. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale up. Exhale to your left elbow. Inhale up. Exhale to your right elbow. Inhale up. One more time to your nose. Inhale up. And then just set that foot down. Go ahead and lower your knees. Lower yourself back to a child's pose for 3 breaths. And then inhale, come on up. You'll slide your legs back out in front of you. And lower onto your back. Take a moment to adjust. Get your hips level. Get your shoulders squared underneath you, solid underneath you. And then you're going to take your right leg up, cross it over your left knee. And then you're going to lift your left knee up, your left foot up, and bring the left knee in towards you, going for that double bind if you can for the eagle legs, or you could just have them crossed, but squeezing in towards each other. So aiming towards the eagle legs. And just a couple of breaths right here. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring your knees up towards your nose. Again, if you notice tension in your neck, lift your head up. But it's not about the crunching action of the upper abdomen.
It's more just about keeping your neck from getting engaged in the work here. So as you exhale, you're going to bring your knees up towards you. Inhale, soften. We're going to do that 10 times. Knees come up towards you and then away. Exhaling the knees towards you. Inhale away. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Beautiful. You can uncross those legs, lift them straight up, and then set them down. The left knee, the left foot will cross over the right knee this time. And then we'll lift that right leg up, bring it towards you. Go for that double bind if it's available. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. Again, if you need to lift your head, you can, but it's not about that crunching. It's about just keeping your neck out of it. And then the knees come in towards you. We'll do 10 on this side too. Exhaling towards you, inhaling away. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release. Just set your feet down for a moment, adjust your hips, adjust your shoulders, find rest, letting the efforts go, letting them be calm. We're going to come back to it for just one last little abdominal exercise. So you bring your hands down by your hips, lift both legs straight up, and then cross your right ankle over your left. So your hands can stay here by your hips, but if you notice that your neck, your throat, your collarbones feel tight, please take your hands and lift your head. And then from here, we're going to lift the hips up and shift like you're a dog wagging your tail, bringing your right hip towards your right shoulder, your left hip towards your left, but with a lift. And we're going to try not to rock. So we don't want the legs to be rocking forward and back. We want them to be aiming straight up towards the ceiling. So as you exhale, you're going to lift up and shift, up and shift. Find the breath that works for you. Make sure you're breathing, and again, notice where your breath is moving. Do 3 more on each side. Good. And then just switch the cross of your ankles. We're going to repeat on this side with your breath, inhaling and exhaling. And 3, 2, and last one. And then come to center, uncross your ankles, lower your legs, grab your block. Just take a moment to breathe, feel your back on the ground. And then as you inhale, just feel the low back arch lifting up away from the ground so there's some space between your back and the mat. And just rest like that for a moment so you're puffing out your belly. And then exhale, press your low back flat into the ground. And just do that a couple times so you're rocking across your sacrum, massaging out your sacrum, and exhaling flat into the ground. Just do one more arch, one more flat, and then as you inhale next, you're going to follow the curve of your spine. You're going to follow the tilt of your pelvis, I should say. As your tailbone reaches towards the ceiling, lift up for a bridge pose. You can tuck your shoulders under. Be here for a couple of breaths. And then if you have a block, just take your block under your sacrum or your pillow or your book, whatever you have. We're going to just do a nice low back bend. So if you are using a block, not on the highest, even if that's totally freely available, don't put it on the highest setting, put it on the medium or the low. So it's just a nice little opening, because then we're going to straighten your legs and reach your arms up overhead. And big breaths pressing through your fingers, pressing through your toes, this big reaching, stretching out your abdomen and your front body. And then we can bring ourselves back to center. Remove your block. And just come to lie flat on your back. Let your eyes close. And notice your breath again. See if you can feel your breath moving in all directions. Feeling your breath moving up and down, forward and back, right and left. Letting your weight drop heavy and soft. And then begin to deepen your breath. Feel your abdomen stretch as you inhale. Belly is full, navel towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, all your muscles soften and surrender. And then take a little movement in your fingers and your toes. Rock your toes in towards each other and away a couple times, just releasing through your hips, through your sacrum. And then take a big overhead stretch. And roll to your side. You can come on up to a seat. And thank you for joining me today. I hope you feel charged up and strong through your core.